On this week's episode, in preparation for the Korn Ferry Tour Championship, we welcome David Kocher.
Got some great stories about growing up in Pinehurst, and he's got a new nickname, Mr. 59.
Fighting for his card this week at the Tour Championship. He's got some good stories. Our Fairways is next.
Hello.
David.
Hey, Mr. 59.
Yeah,
How are you guys doing?
We were just talking
Good.
about that. Has anybody called you Mr. 59 lately?
I've gotten actually a lot of people calling me Mr. 59. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So next step is just to go to the DMV, change your name to David Mr. 59 Kocher.
Yeah, I don't know if my parents will let me do that, but yeah.
Hang on, I'm going to go shut my dog up. Hang on.
Yeah, you're good.
Do you have a brother in Boise? Is that right?
I do. I have a brother in Boise.
Nice.
Yeah.
How often do you just visit him once a year when you come out for the Albertsons, or do you spend time out here?
I don't spend time out there usually too much. Where are you guys at?
We're in Boise also.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Okay, very cool. No, I come out usually once a year for the tournament, then he comes home for, Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever. So
Right.
Yeah, he'll be back in a few weeks as well. Me and my fiance are getting married, so 2 weeks
Nice.
from yesterday. So yeah,
Congratulations, man. Where are you guys getting married?
we're getting married in Charlotte.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that where you're from? Your bio says you're from Morristown, but you
So
hate
I was born in Morristown, but
Okay.
I live in Charlotte. I grew up in Charlotte.
Gotcha. Okay. And then did you get recruited by Maryland?
I did get recruited by Maryland. Yeah, I among other places, but yeah, I got recruited by Maryland and felt like that was home. So went up there for a few years, then graduated in 2018 and moved back home right after that. So
Very cool. A good friend
Yeah.
of the show. You know Maddie Ryan?
I do. I know Matt Ryan really well.
Yeah, Maddie's a good buddy
Yeah.
of the show. We've had him on a few times. So, and he hails from Charlotte, so I had to ask.
Yeah. No, Matt's a great dude. He's an awesome guy. So yeah.
Well, let's get you the full introduction now that we got everything squared away. He's David Kocher. He's officially from Morristown, New Jersey. He's born. Played out of his collegiate golf out of Maryland. 6'0", 175. Is that pretty accurate?
Probably like 185, 190 now. Yeah.
Okay. We always got to get the height
from
and
a
weight.
while ago.
Yeah.
those stats are
Are
from
you
a
still
couple
that
years
tall
ago.
at least? Is
Yeah,
that
you
your
still
height?
at
Yeah,
least
still
that
that
tall.
tall.
Yeah,
Still
yeah,
that tall.
I like it. Turned pro in 28. God, you're just such a young buck too, age 27. You just turned 27 this year.
Yeah.
Living the dream, man. Are you in Charlotte right now?
No, so actually I'm in Evansville, Indiana. I drove up today. We have the tour championship this week. So
My college roommates from Evansville.
yeah, it's actually an awesome area. The course that we play is incredible. So yeah, super excited for this week. Yeah. So it should be a good one in Evansville. I mean, it was only like an 8.5 hour drive. So really, I mean, I don't say only, but with only 1 week on the road, it kind of makes no sense to fly up here and fly back. So
Right.
For sure, man. That's cool. And where are you guys getting married? Back in Charlotte?
we're getting married in Charlotte.
Okay.
Yeah, back in Charlotte in a week and 6 days. So kind of preparing for that. My fiance will come up here on Saturday. So yeah, it should be. We're super excited. We looked at the weather, 14-day forecast. I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like it's gonna be sunny and like 80. So it'll be perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Good. Well, how's the game feel?
It actually feels really good. Yeah, I mean, I've actually been playing really well this whole season. Just it's funny, like a bounce here or there, and just kind of goes my way, and I'm right up there in the top 30. But right now, honestly, like playing well in Omaha a few weeks ago, or maybe like a month and a half ago now, and then second solo in Boise. Kind of almost proved to myself that like I know where my game's at. I know it's in a good spot. Like finally, a couple bounces went my way, a couple putts fall at the right times, and I can, I'm competing in a lot of these events rather than finishing, 30th, 40th. So
Right.
yeah, honestly, it feels really good. My putter, honestly, a couple weeks ago at Ohio State wasn't super hot, and I kind of pride myself on being a really good putter. But just trying to give myself a lot of looks, and like to see a couple of those putts fall kind of early this week, and hopefully it's a good week.
Like it. Yeah, I mean, take us back to the summer struggle. You miss 4 straight cuts, and then all of a sudden you do T5 at the Pinnacle Bank, and then another cut Magnet, and then second in Boise. Like, are you going through your mind like, your card's in jeopardy? Because you basically secured your card with second here in Boise.
Yeah, so I knew kind of where I was at. I was actually in a kind of a similar spot last year, kind of coming down the stretch, and hadn't played well all year last year. And I think I was like 120th on points, and then won in Springfield, Missouri last year. So that was my second win out here on the Korn Ferry Tour. And honestly, like kind of a very similar spot this year. I changed sports psychs, started seeing a new guy out, lives in kind of in the San Francisco Bay Area, and started talking with him a couple weeks before Omaha, and kind of just put my mind at ease, because I knew I wasn't shooting the scores I wanted to be, or shooting the scores I wanted to shoot, but I knew my game was in a good spot. I just was kind of putting so much pressure on myself. Like, why are these results not coming, rather than, what's like, all you can do is try my best. Like, that's literally all I can do, and try to shoot the lowest score possible, stay in the present. And it kind of turned around pretty quickly, honestly. Like, I missed the cut, I think 2 weeks in a row after I started working with him, but I felt like my mindset was shifting, even though my golf game is still there. I felt like my mindset was shifting from like, man, every shot matters so much, to, it doesn't really matter. Like,
Right.
I already have a conditional card next year. I'm not too worried about my future on the Korn Ferry Tour or the PGA Tour. I'm just trying to, be committed to each shot and go out there and just try the best I possibly can. And it turned around quickly. And in Omaha, I played well and played 4 solid rounds. And that's something I kind of been lacking the last couple of years, honestly, was, putting 4 solid rounds together, and put 4 solid rounds together in Omaha, and played really well in the last round, which was, I mean, really hard out there. It was blowing like 25, 30 most of the day, and put a really solid round together, and then missed the cut the next week. And I honestly didn't think too much of it. I was like, I'm just glad, I played well the week before. I feel like my game's in a good spot. My putter really wasn't cooperating very well the whole week in New Jersey, and got a few bad bounces kind of the whole second round, honestly. And then I go to Boise, and I've actually never played well at that place at all. Really kind of struggled and missed the cut, I think, the last 3 times I've been there. And I go out and I shoot 8 under the first round. And, it's funny, like, after never making the cut there, my only thought going into the second round was like, man, it would really suck if you missed this cut. Like, don't miss the cut. Like I shot 8 under. I think I'm like in tied for third or something like that, and shoot 2 under the second round. Didn't really have my best stuff, but didn't really play that bad. And then the third round I played solid. In the fourth round, obviously shooting 59, and it was pretty cool. But yeah, it was just like kind of a combination of, the right bounces went my way those 2 weeks, but also, just kind of staying in the present and not really caring too much about, the outcome of each and every shot. Just kind of staying in my own way, or kind of staying out of my own way, honestly, and just focusing on what I do best and try to give myself the most opportunities for birdie.
It's wild too, because you didn't play bad golf at all. Like, looking at these scores at NV5 is 66, 71. You were 5 under and missed the cut. And then you shoot 67, 71 and you miss the cut. And then when you finish T5 at Pinnacle, you shoot 71, 66 and you get T5. So like, that's not bad golf at all. That's just how hard it is.
It's funny because I think I've shot like 4 over par rounds in my last like 30 rounds or 50 rounds out here. And I've missed however many cuts. Like, it's just hard to make cuts, especially when the cuts are 6, 7 under. Like, you feel like you're playing good golf, and if the outcomes aren't kind of what you're looking for, it's really not on. I feel like I put so much pressure on the outcomes rather than just kind of focusing on, like, I'm just trying to do the best I possibly can and shoot the best scores I possibly can. So that was kind of a big kind of change of mindset. And all of a sudden it kind of freed me up, and it was like, does it really matter if you miss cuts? Like, all you're looking for to get on the Korn or PGA Tour is a few good weeks and put you over the edge in points. Like, so I kind of focused on that kind of the end of the year was like playing the best I possibly could, and just focusing on staying in the present and commitment, and those. I feel like I didn't play any better or worse. It was just like I didn't put as much pressure on myself, and that was kind of pretty cool. Kind of coming down the stretch and having 4 solid rounds, a couple tournaments in a row, and proving. I feel like proving to myself like I'm really good at this game. I just got to kind of stay out of my own way.
Well, and I think like your record, just even with those good rounds where you missed cuts, that just shows the talent depth, even at the Korn Ferry level.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's kind of I tell people all the time is like, even though it's a secondary tour, there aren't secondary players out here. Like everybody's really freaking good. I mean, you look at guys that are were just on the Ryder Cup team this last week. Like a lot of them came off the Korn Ferry tour. They came up through the college ranks and were good and played in a few Korn Ferry events and went out on the PGA Tour. You see a lot of success right away on the PGA Tour from Korn Ferry guys, and it's a surprise to other people, but it's not a surprise to us because you see them playing well each and every week out here.
We had Taylor Montgomery on before his rookie season started in February, and he had a great year.
Oh yeah, I mean he one of the best putters probably on the planet. And that was no surprise to anybody. I feel like even guys that, were, watching PGA Tour from afar and didn't really know much, they see him putt and they're like, wow, this guy's going to be around for a long time. He's a really good putter, great player. Bombs. So, yeah.
Well, it frees you up a little bit to know that you at least have your Korn Ferry Tour full status based on points for next year. Yeah. And now you're just battling for higher status. Is that right?
So I'm battling for the top 30 and getting my PGA Tour card.
Okay, so that still is in play.
That's still in play. I think I have to finish like either solo 4th or tied for 3rd or something like that to have a chance at my PGA Tour card. Solo 3rd, I think would have a really good chance of locking
this week.
So this week, this is the last tournament of the year.
This is the tournament. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, cool. And so, but at the same time, like it's kind of funny. Me and my fiance were talking about it because we're planning a wedding. I mean, in 2 weeks, and it was kind of nice. This last week was we finalized a lot of things for the wedding. We got a lot of things done. I didn't really touch a club too much. I played Tuesday, Wednesday, and practiced one other day, and it was almost freeing to not really worry about golf because in the years past, I've come into this position. I think this will be my 4th time going to this tournament with a chance to get my PGA Tour card. And I haven't really played well here. And I love this course. I played well here in college. We had Big Tens here my freshman and sophomore year, played great here. And I just never played well here as a professional yet. And I always put so much pressure on myself. Like, man, I have to finish solo 3rd. I have to finish top 5 to get my PGA Tour card. And this year I'm coming in like, does it really matter? Like, the biggest thing in my life is in 2 weeks. Like it's not this week. Right. Like I know I'm going to get on the PGA Tour. I don't know when. It might be, this week. It might be next year. It might be the next year. But like, I'm focusing on, I feel like the right things rather than focusing on, I need to finish this to get my PGA Tour card.
Well, and I think you're going to have a good tournament because you didn't play well in Boise and then you crushed it last month. So
exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of just funny. Like I was telling my caddy earlier this year, like I got a lot of bad bounces in a row, a lot of bad breaks early in the season, missed a few cuts, and I was playing good golf and just was getting all the bad breaks. And we kept reminding ourselves, like, these are the kind of things that happen to people, that get PGA Tour cards. Like, you don't always get the good bounces, but when they do turn good, if your bounces were really bad in the past, usually they turn really good in the future. So I'd never shot in the 50s. I've never shot under 62. I shoot 59 this year. And I'm like, maybe the bad bounces early in this year were all worth it for, a good, late in the season push.
Yeah. Let's go to the 59. I was going to wait a little bit, but that's a good segue to it. So Mike and I, we were watching, we were following you just on the app, and then we were in the stands on 16 after you made the eagle. Yeah. Are you just like throughout the whole day, are you just like kind of just out of it, kind of like in that zone, basically?
So the front 9, I was a little bit more in the zone. It kind of reminded me so I made 6 birdies in a row in the front. And last year when I won in Springfield, I made 7 birdies in a row in my first round. And I kept telling my caddy Parker, I was like, I've never made this many birdies in a row. Like, this is really cool. And he's trying to like talk me off a ledge, like, or like talk me back to reality. And I'm like, dude, like, get out of the way. I'm gonna make another birdie, and like I'm gonna make another birdie. And so this year was kind of similar. It was just like I made all those birdies in a row, and it was just going about my business. It wasn't like I was getting too high or too low. It was just like, okay, like I know people are gonna make birdies on this golf course. Like, this is just what I need to do. And so I knew I needed to probably have a good week or two to kind of keep my card for, or keep my full status card for next year on the Corn Ferry. And when I made birdie on 11 was kind of, I shot 29 on the front, and I'd never shot 29 in a tournament before. And it kind of went through my mind, like, if I shoot 30 on this back nine, I can shoot 59. But then
you were thinking it after 11. Yeah.
Well, no, after 9, it was just one initial thought. It was like, man, if I, shoot 30 on this back nine, I can shoot 59. But then it kind of like quickly went away, because I was just like, that's such a silly thought. Like, how many people in professional golf have ever shot in the 50s? Like, not many.
Sure.
And so it's just like, okay, like, just kind of play as well as I can, like try to make a few more birdies on the back nine. And I made one on 11. I knew that was to get to 8. And I was like, okay, like 59 still in play if I play well these last few holes, but like, I'm not too worried about it. I still need to make 4 birdies in my last 7 holes. Like, that's hard to do in any course. It doesn't matter if it's a pitch and putt. And I make par on 12 and 13 and 14. I'm like, all right, well, it's out the window. Let's just try to finish, win this tournament or finish solo second, or, solo third or whatever. And then I make like a 10-footer on 15. And I'm like, well, I need to birdie the last 3 holes. And then I make like a 30-footer, 25-footer on 16. And I was kind of like, wait a second. Like, if I birdie one of the last 2, I can shoot 59. Like, that's pretty cool. And missed like a 12-footer on 17. And I kept telling myself, walking to 18 tee, like, don't be mad. Like, just hit a good drive, hit a good second shot, like, see where the chips fall. And I kept telling my caddy, man, like, I'm almost glad I didn't birdie. Like, even walking up 18, I'm like, almost glad I did not birdie 17, because you don't want to be remembered as the guy that bogeys the last hole to shoot 60
rather than 60 when you have 59 in the back.
And so right. Like, we're walking up 18, and I'm telling him this, and I'm like, let's just hit a good wedge shot, like, give yourself a chance, because like, if you miss the putt and you shoot 60, like, nobody really cares. But at the same time, like, it's still a good week, it's still all this stuff, but like, nobody's gonna like fault you for shooting 60 ever, even if you missed the last putt on the last hole and ended up making it. And it was pretty cool. So
what did you hit on tee box on 18?
So I hit driver, and in the past I've only hit 3-wood. And I told my caddy, like, at Boise, I was like, we're going to be more aggressive this week, because I've never played well here. Hit a lot of drivers in places where I've hit shorter clubs off tees. And I think I hit the fairway like 2 out of 4 days, which I think I've played that hole like traditionally like a couple over for the week. And I think I played it 3 under that week. So definitely paid off hitting driver there. And I don't see why I would ever hit anything else. I was just way too scared, like, to be in the trees. And I thought life was smarter. And I just decided to bang driver up there.
Were you more nervous than you thought you'd be over the putt?
No. Not really, because it was actually kind of funny. It was on the back edge of the green, and the pin was kind of in the back of the green, and there's no way you can leave that putt short. It's straight down the hill. You're coming down a massive slope. I don't think even if you like breathed on that ball, it would be short. And so I was almost happy that like I didn't have an uphiller, because then you have the ability to leave it short. And so I was like, literally the only way this putt can go is past the hole. And so it was kind of like it left short out of play for me. And so I just, read the putt, and I told my caddy, I was like, it goes like 6 different ways. Like, I think I'm just gonna like just get up there and feel it. Like, I'm not even really gonna read this putt. And I just got up there and just kind of felt it. And lucky it went right in. So
beautiful round. And you have family here in Boise too, yeah?
I do. My brother lives in Boise, so it was cool to have him watching the whole week. And he watched the first round when I shot 63, and I think the third and fourth rounds. So it was really cool to have him there, and my mom was there, and so it was really special to have them both there.
Yeah, 100%. Well, let's go back to where it all started for you. I see that you played a lot of golf, obviously in North Carolina, and so Pinehurst is right there. Who got you into the game?
Yeah.
I see that you played a lot with your grandfather, your uncle, and your dad.
Yeah. So yeah, my dad, uncle, and grandfather got me started in the game. My grandparents, my dad's parents lived in Pinehurst, and my grandmother still does. All when I was growing up, so I would go over there a couple weeks every summer, play golf with him and my dad and my uncle, and that's kind of where I kind of grew up, just playing the holes around the house, going in the pool in the afternoon, and then just going right back out after dinner. And
It's not a bad place to cut your
it's
teeth.
it's not a bad place at all. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, it was the first, kind of one of the first places I think where I beat my dad, I beat my grandfather. So it was a cool way to grow up, just because you have pretty much one of the golf meccas in the whole world right there, 2 hours from your house. And I would spend so much time there. I played tournaments growing up over there. Go over there. My putting coach is still over there. We have usually a guys trip every year with a lot of my closest buddies over there. So still spend a lot of time over there. My aunt lives over there and my grandmother lives over there. So it's so fun to get over there and just hang out with them.
What's your low?
Low out there.
Low score, yeah. At Pinehurst.
Low score ever. Oh, at Pinehurst.
Out of
number
Pinehurst.
Number two, I think I've shot 1 under at Pinehurst, number 2. Yeah, I mean, that place is just so hard. It's not, it was kind of like playing Ohio State last week. It's like you have no let up on any hole. You go out there and you're like, man, like you make a bogey and you just feel like you can never get it back. That's kind of how it is. It's, you hit doesn't matter like if you're in the fairway or in the rough or whatever, you're just hitting to like a thimble on the green. And if you miss it, you're just chipping and putting, having to scramble all day. So I think I shot 1 under maybe once in the north south. But I mean, I played number 2 probably 100 times.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you start, I mean, your dad grows you up within the game. Did you immediately just fall in love with the game and said, I want to be a professional golfer?
So I actually played baseball until I was about 12, and I really wanted to. I mean, I always knew I wanted to be a professional golfer, but it was kind of like such a far thought in my mind, because you always watch the guys up on, playing these tournaments on the PGA Tour, and you're like, man, I want to be like them, but I don't think I can ever be like them. They are so good. They're so ridiculous. You're like, you go out and you hit shots and you're like, man, you see them driving at 300 yards. When you're 12, you drive at 170.
Right.
And so you're like, that's impossible. Driving at 300 yards is impossible. And you go out and you're like, man, like I can hit, a double into left field. Like when I'm hitting, playing baseball, you're like, I feel like I could probably do that a little bit easier. And then I kind of quickly realized like I suck at baseball, and I'm probably a lot better at golf than I am at baseball. And so picked up golf more seriously, started playing tournaments. And I was never kind of a world beater, but I was really consistent usually. And kind of, that's how I got, looks by colleges, and kind of continued that into college, where I had just a very consistent college career. It was nothing crazy, just a few wins and just a lot of really consistent finishes. And I knew kind of I could continue to do that, throughout professional golf, and hopefully earn some money at it.
What does that feel like now that that's you? Now that
It's
you're
pretty
that
cool,
guy
honestly,
that you
like,
thought you could never be.
So it's funny, like I know like I haven't achieved anything crazy in the world of golf, but it's pretty cool. Like you look back, you're like, I just feel like I, never could have dreamed where I like am right now is like where I would have thought I was way back when. And so it's a pretty cool thought. You turn on the TV and you sometimes see the Corn Ferry Tour, and you're like, man, like I used to watch nationwide tour events when I was 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Be like, that is so cool. Like, that's awesome. Like I can watch these places. They're all, and we're playing the exact same courses now, 10, 15 years later. I'm like, man, that's really cool that I'm doing that. And I have a chance to get to the PGA Tour this week. Like that's, always been a lifelong goal of mine. And
say that again. Just keep saying that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like to win on the PGA Tour and to win major champion. I mean, it's what everybody that plays golf dreams of doing. And, obviously I have a chance of accomplishing one of those goals this next week. But like I said, like, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like,
Sure.
if it doesn't happen this year, like, I truly believe that I'm good enough to get to the PGA Tour and win tournaments on the PGA Tour. Like, it's going to happen. You just got to stick with kind of what got you here. So
yeah. Mike and I brought this up with Matty Ryan. We asked him his official world golf ranking for perspective, right? So do you know yours?
I think I'm like right around 300.
Yeah. So you're 303.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to say, yeah, I'm the 303rd best golfer in the world. My name's David
cool,
Kocher.
but at the same time, how cool would it be like if I'm top 50 or
correct?
Top 10?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool because at the same time, like, I always think about it, and you have to kind of take a step back because I'm playing with guys that are at home. I'm playing with Webb Simpson, Harold Varner, Trevor Cohn's my good buddy. Like, they're all really good golfers on the PGA Tour, on Live or whatever. Way better world ranking than me, and I have to take a step back and be like, no, like, I like, parts of my game are just as good as them. Like,
sure,
I can beat them any given day. Like, I can beat if I'm playing well, like, I can beat anybody in the world. And so
I love that.
Sometimes looking at it, and you're like, man, like, it's unattainable to get to the top 10 in the world. You're like, no, it's not really. You just got to play well.
What kind of advice do they get you, Webb and the Heralds?
All sorts of advice. I mean, they're such good guys, and there's no secret why they've achieved what they have in the world of golf. It's just such good mindset, such good, like, I would say the intangibles are just there. And you watch them and you're like, man, like, their games don't differ from mine too much. At the same time, though, their mental skills are just so much, so I would say elite, that's why you see them competing at such high levels year after year. And so that's kind of one thing that kind of spurred me on to, be better at, is just the mental side of the game.
You a range rat?
No, not at all. It's funny. I feel like when I play my worst, I find myself on the range more. And when I'm playing well, I probably hit, before a tournament, I probably hit 30 balls if I'm playing well.
Yeah.
Like, and my caddy it's funny because she's like, man, we need to get better at distance control. I'm like, well, I could hit balls on the range, or I could go, hit 100-yard wedge shots out on the course and actually see how it reacts. And so it's funny. When I'm playing well, I find myself hitting shots on the golf course, or playing money games with my buddies, or just going out and playing 18-hole practice rounds rather than spending. I would much rather play 18-hole practice round than spend 3 hours practicing before a tournament. Even if I'm spending 6 hours on the course, it just gets, I focus on each and every shot, and then I get time away and I can just walk and talk with my buddies. I just feel like the more time I spend on the range, I think putting green's different. I spend a lot of time on the putting green before a tournament, but I really kind of hate spending time on the range, just because, especially, I feel like with driver and long irons, you just have the world to hit it on the range. And when you get on the tee, it's like, yeah, I know exactly where I need to hit it. I have to be in the fairway. And so you kind of have that narrowed focus. Yeah.
Mike, did you say?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, I mean, the mental side of the game, I don't think a lot of people realize how important that is. You can have all the skill in the world, but how you handle yourself when either you're not at your best, or when you have a difficult shot, you get a bogey. I think that's what sets apart the guys at the top, is just their ability to move on from a bogey, or to know when to attack, to know when to be okay with the par.
And I don't think, like, after learning a lot from my sports psychologist, there's not, all golfers really know this at heart. And I would tell myself this, forever, is like, you gotta not worry about the shot after it comes off the club face. But like, I started to really think about it and be like, the more present I am on the golf course, and like, feeling how lucky I am just to be out there and playing golf for a living, and do all the things I get to do, travel around the world, and just, do something I love. Like, does it really matter if I hit a shot in the water? Like, not really. Like if I plan on, playing golf for the next 30 years of my life professionally or 25 years of my life professionally, like does one shot in the water really matter that much? Like not really at all. And in the moment, I would get so frustrated with myself internally and be like, you compound errors then. And I just realized like, why do I don't need to worry about it that much. And it just allowed like this freedom to come over me and be like, I'm allowed to hit good golf shots. Like I'm allowed to do these things after bad golf shots. Like one bad golf shot a day is not going to kill me. Everybody hates bad golf shots. Even the number one player in the world hits bad golf shots. Like it's how you kind of bounce back from that and just realize like it's a totally different situation that I have right in front of me now.
Right.
You seem like you respond to pressure pretty well. Like it doesn't really bother you that well. Do you have a process when pressure is built?
I don't really. I feel like, the reason why I play golf is to be in those pressure situations. Like I told my caddy last year when we were in Springfield is like, I'm behind the 8 ball. Like I know I had a 2-shot lead at the time going to the last round, but I told him I've won a lot of golf tournaments before. Like I'm definitely going to be nervous today, but at the same time, like this is why we play golf, like to win golf tournaments. It's not just like I feel like when you're in contention, the only thing I think about, and I think some people, are worried about, okay, like the position you are in. And it's funny, like when I'm in 50th position in the tournament, like I'm more worried about the position I'm in than when I'm in second or like fourth or whatever. When I'm in fourth or third or seventh or something like that, I'm so much more worried about winning the golf tournament than, than finishing second or third or eighth or 20th. Like I just want to go win the golf tournament. And so I feel like when I'm in those situations, like when I was, in Boise and I had a chance to shoot 59, like 59 crossed my mind on the last 2 holes and it crossed my mind on 9 for a split second. But other than that, I was like, I'm just going to keep making birdies to try to force Chan Kim to go win this golf tournament. Like that was the only thought in my mind. It wasn't shoot 59. It wasn't okay, don't make bogeys to finish 40th. Like it was just like, my only goal right here is to win. And so I feel like when I get in those situations, I'm actually fairly confident in my ability to get the job done just because that's my sole focus rather than playing defense.
What was it like to chase Chen on Sunday? I mean, how do you balance the focus of trying to catch him? Obviously, you were kind of watching as it goes along. He just kept making birdies and stuff, but then worrying about, focusing on your own game and, you shoot 59, but still couldn't catch him.
I feel like it was funny because early in the day, I was, I think, in 13th position. And my only goal that day, because I knew I was 5 or 7 strokes behind him or whatever to start the day, was like, my goal today is to finish higher than I was starting the day. I knew that winning was probably going to be out the window just because the course was it rained the night before. It was a little easier. It was a little softer. You have a lot of wedges in. To win the golf tournament, you were going to have to shoot something crazy low and have the, leaders not play very well. And I got off to it. I was 6 under through 7. And I was like looking up the leaderboard. And I'm in like second place or maybe I was third place or tied for first or something like that. And I was like, okay, like I have 11 holes left. Like, let's go chase down the leader and see how many birdies we can make and make him like fourth birdies a little bit. And I knew that I didn't have really time on my side just because I didn't have as many holes as he had left. But I knew that like, if I play my game and keep making birdies, like I'm at least going to put some pressure on him. And if he messes up, hopefully I'm right there to kind of catch the trophy a little bit. Because it's happened before in the past, like a couple of years ago in Mexico. It was like my 5th or 6th event on Corn Ferry ever. And I kind of backdoor to win. It was, if that's even possible. It was like I shoot 3 under the last round. I was in the second to last group, but I was 5 strokes behind the lead going to the last round. And it got really windy, and I just kind of played really solid all day, shot 3 under, and kind of fell into a like victory. It was kind of like I walked off the last hole, and I was like, wait a second, I'm tied for the lead, and ended up winning a playoff. But I mean, when you post a score like that, like they kind of just you still have to play solid. And even if he had a 2-shot lead coming into the last few, that's kind of all I could ask for because it was all I could do that day. And I knew he still had to hit some good shots coming in, or else, hopefully I would be right there to kind of at least force a playoff.
Did you have any swings that you copied growing up on TV?
Yeah, so kind of a habit I used to fall into a lot more was just looking at swings online, and I'd kind of try to copy them. And everybody's body is so different, and everybody moves so differently. Like I have, limitations, just like a lot of other people have limitations in their golf swings, and which is why all golf swings look different. And so I kind of used to fall into that category of just YouTubing golf swings and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to try to copy this. And I kind of quickly realized, like, I play my best golf when I don't do that. And still I have a habit of, like, if I'm not playing well, looking at golf swings and trying to get into positions that, like, I just can't do as well as other people. And other people hopefully one day will try to copy my golf swing and they won't be able to do what I do. So it just kind of works out like that. But I used to watch a lot of Tiger Woods videos, 2000 videos, just like anybody else. And I loved Hunter Mahan's swing growing up and try to copy his swing for a while. Didn't end up working out very well. But yeah, I feel like I see different swing coach now than I used to, and been working with him for about 2 years now. And he just tells me, like, the positions I'm really good in. And that's really been helping me out a lot is, like, David, like, in these positions are when you play your best golf. And so I try to copy those positions of either old footage of myself or things I'm working on in my practice to try to get back to what I'm trying to accomplish in my golf swing, because it doesn't look like anybody else's. And I feel like that's when I play my best. It's just really consistent golf.
He's David Kocher. He's a professional golfer, Korn Ferry Tour member, going for his PGA Tour card here, probably solo second or third to get his card. He's got his card locked up for 2024. He's joining us here on Fairways. Mr. 59. Let's do some quick hitters here real quick. We always like to, on the first time, we always kind of like just to do quick ones here. What's the last shot that gave you some nightmares?
Ooh. It's funny. I struggled with a lot early in my professional career, 5 years ago or so, like that. And you can ask a lot of my friends. I struggled with uphill right to lefters from 2 or 3 feet. The easiest putt you can possibly have.
Yeah, for a right-handed, sure.
Event.
Yeah,
I missed 2 or 3 in the same event, and for about 5 months, I could make them in tournaments. But in any money game I played in, I would at least miss one uphill right to left 2 or 3 footer. Every single money game I played in. And it cost me a lot of money, but I definitely got better at them quick. That was probably those were the biggest shots. I mean, there's a lot of events out here that have kind of nightmarish tee shots, but not many of them come to mind right now. But yeah, there will be a few this week. This course is pretty tight, but that's the last kind of at least shot that I can remember. That's like those. I would just always stand over and be like, I have zero confidence that I'm going to make this. So.
What's your favorite club in the bag? I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but
I would say my 60 degree is really fun. My putter is my favorite club in my bag. I would
that's
say
what
my
I
most fun
expected.
club is my favorite, or my most fun club is my 60 degree though. My favorite club, yeah, my putter. I change putters a little bit more often than I would like to admit, I would say, but the one I keep coming back to is just the Fang Odyssey. I pretty much use it only in competition, then kind of change putters a lot. And, when I'm playing at home, just to kind of get my feels right. And I like to putt with different putters just to kind of feel like I want to go back to my other one.
Did you keep 59 ball?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
Yes, I did.
Good.
Yeah.
How old were you when you first broke par?
I think it was 12. Yeah. So.
Dog leg left or right?
Or right. I like to cut it. Yeah.
Would you rather play in the wind or the rain?
Oh, I hate playing in the rain. I absolutely hate playing in the rain. I can play in the wind, but it's funny, like a couple weeks ago in Nashville, I told my caddy, because I've never played well in the rain at all. I've always played absolutely atrocious in the rain. It'll be like misting, and I'll turn to my caddy after I hit a tee shot off the planet. I'll be like, there was water that got in between my ball and the club face. And he'll look at me and it'll be the club face is totally dry, David. That's impossible. And it's just like it was a mental block. And this year in Nashville, it was pouring down rain. And I told my caddy, don't stand over me with the umbrella. I'm getting over this mental block. And I think a few times I even like wiped my ball on the ground to get extra water on it to put it on the tee then and then to hit it. Just so like I could prove to myself that I could play in the rain.
Front pin or back pin?
I like back pin. I like front pins. They're fun to spin it, but I like saucing a shot in there to the back pin. They're always fun.
You could play a round of golf with anybody, living, dead. Who would it be?
I'll give you dream foursome. It would be still my grandfather, my uncle, and my dad.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
You could change one rule in golf.
Okay, I've talked about this with my caddy. It's kind of a weird one, but I don't mind the rules in golf. I think they're very fair for everybody. I wish they would bring back like the over the shoulder drop. I think that would be awesome. I've talked about it with it like a few times this year. I think that would be really cool.
No more three, because it's ultimately more penal maybe because it could go more into the rough if you're dropping into the rough, of course. I mean,
it's awesome, and I don't
all the way down
too
there.
much. I don't drop too much, fortunately. I'm a pretty straight hitter, but it would be awesome just to see people like try to drop it over their shoulder again.
Okay.
So you're fine with divots in the fairway?
Yeah, I feel like if you hit it like in one, like you got to deal with it. It's the same as hitting it like I wouldn't say it's the same, but you have, if you hit in the bunker, you can get a good lie or a bad lie. You can be in like a rake spot or not. Like I would say that's also a hazard, but like you could hit in the rough and you be in an old divot, which with a perfect lie, or you could be in the thick stuff. And it's just, that's why it's an outdoor game.
Now you're a Big Ten guy. I'm going to go off the board here just for a second, but I couldn't help but notice. Do you have a Penn State sweatshirt on?
I do. I do have a Penn State sweatshirt on.
I don't know if we have any Maryland listeners right now or when this does actually come out, but I don't know. I just had to pull that up, David. Do you want to explain yourself?
So my whole family, brothers, sisters, parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, everyone went to Penn State.
Yeah. My dad and my aunt went to Penn State too.
I'm a huge Penn State fan.
Yeah.
My parents have season tickets up there. Go to a few games every year. Go to the whiteout most every year, other than this year. I had a tournament.
Yeah.
But I go to all the games pretty much I can go to.
Okay.
We're going to the Michigan game in a few weeks after the wedding, and
love it.
I grew up a Penn State fan. I'm still a Penn State fan. Apologize to any Maryland listeners out there, but I am a way bigger Penn State fan than I'm a Maryland fan.
There you have it. You had me with your family. Yep, you had me with your family.
Still cheer for Maryland golf and still cheer for Maryland basketball.
So where did your wife go to school?
So she went to South Carolina.
Okay. So she's a Gamecock. Okay.
Gotcha. She's a big Gamecock fan. And her whole family grew up in Ohio, so they're huge Cleveland Browns fans as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys got is she a big Ohio State fan too? Because you guys got a big game coming up with the Terps.
Her parents are.
Okay.
So she's not as big of an Ohio State fan. She still likes them, but I took her to a whiteout last year against Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I think she's slowly coming around to the Penn State train. So, maybe a few more games. And
sure.
Yeah, she always said, like, you put a ring on my finger and I'll cheer for Penn State. But
boom.
I think it's taken a little longer than that, I think.
Okay. Does she play sports? Does she play this silly game?
No, she does not play golf.
Okay.
She grew up playing all kinds of sports. She's in a lot of rec leagues for different sports and everything. Her big one right now is soccer. So she's a stout defender. She locks it up pretty good. So
I like it. Where does your patience level lie in the game of golf? Like kind of going back to that pressure thing. And like, do you ever get impatient? You seem like you don't get impatient.
No, I'm actually a very patient person. I feel like, there's things I'm impatient about, but I feel like golf is one of those things like, yeah, we all get frustrated. We all get, a little antsy out there. Like, why is this not happening to me? But I feel like the more I'm grounded in my personal life, then the more patient I am on the golf course. And it kind of, I, I feel like those two go hand in hand really well. And so I kind of like to stay even keel off the golf course, and it allows me to stay even keel on the golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good foundation to have.
There are situations where I do get impatient. But those
what
are
would those be?
Ooh,
Those 2 to 3 footers?
no, I feel like we're all destined to miss one of those eventually, but I would say you hit a really good shot and it comes off perfectly, and you're like, man, like you expect it to go close to the hole, and then you realize it was a bad yardage. I'm not calling out my caddy, but
No.
it happens. I mean, in professional golf, you're not allowed to use rangefinders, so it happens.
Yeah.
And there's a situation last week where it was so funny. I mean, we were on a par 5. It was the 4th hole of our tournament, and Ohio State's, unbelievably hard golf course, and par 5 over water. And early in the morning, there's dew on the ball. It's a little chilly. My caddy goes, "It's a perfect 5-iron." I'm like, "Parker, I kind of want to hit 4. Like, I can hit it over the green. I can make 4 over the green." He goes, "David, it is a perfect 5-iron." And I munch this thing, and it flies onto the bank, goes in the water. And that's the time I was impatient.
Yeah.
I can think about that. But at the same time, I also made par, and I told him, I was like, "Dude, totally fine. It happens to all of us, because half the time I'll get the number wrong and I'll do it. And luckily he catches me." So, yeah, we're a good team together.
He been on your bag for a while.
He's been on my bag for almost 2 years now.
Cool. Right on.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Jets flying overhead during the tournament? Did that bother any other golfers out there? It seemed when we were walking around, everybody, they would think it's really cool, but then
it was unbelievable until you were over a golf shot. And then it was almost the most nerve-wracking thing, not because like they're flying overhead, but like because you'd be over your shot and you're like, you can't hear them coming, but you can sure hear them passing over. And so you'd be over a golf shot, and I told my caddy every hole, or like, every few holes, was like, make sure you watch the Jets. I don't care about you watching me at all. I can find my ball, I can see it where it goes, but make sure when I'm over the shot, if I'm even taking the club back or in my backswing, you can call me off the shot to make sure one of those Jets doesn't
He's
fly
on
over.
jet
They were
duty.
going so low.
I love it.
He was on jet
duty here in
duty the
Boise.
whole week. He was on jet duty the whole week. A lot of other people are complaining. I was like, this is one of the coolest things ever. As long as
my
you time it
gosh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Absolutely
Yeah, it was
amazing.
unbelievable.
Did you stay for any of the concerts?
I did not, no. I unfortunately had a few early tee times just because I didn't play too well on Friday.
Right.
Or Saturday, really. So
You like where the game of golf is at right now, overall? Kind of where we're at with distance.
I think it's in an awesome spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that like people are sometimes going about it the wrong way. Like, if you really want to make the golf course hard, we played Ohio State, which isn't an overly long golf course, and the greens were firm and they were fast. I mean, if the wind's up a little bit, it makes it a really hard golf course. And some golf courses aren't able to do that as well. But like, fans pay to see birdies other than one tournament a year at the U.S. Open, and like if we're making birdies and like making the fans happy, like that's really like it doesn't matter for us. Like I can go win a golf tournament at even par. I can go win one at 30 under. Like if my game's in a good spot, then I feel like I can win on any golf course anytime. But for the average amateur, like why wouldn't you want to hit it farther and straighter? Like that's awesome. And I mean, speaking from experience, I can also hit it crooked and short. Like it's not like it's it doesn't matter what the ball like does or the club face does. Like I understand you have to put limits on it at some time, but I don't think you have to bring it back.
Agreed. Well, we always like to end with a couple of just at least one personal question, just as far as like, how has golf changed your life?
Honestly, changed my life in just allowing me to kind of have a competitive like atmosphere. I feel like spending time with your friends, being competitive out there, like it builds such cool relationships. Like I've grown so close to not only my family through golf, but also friends, and just meeting people from all over the world. Like, I feel like even if you're just an amateur at a local club, like, you get to hang out with like buddies and just be outside and play a game that you love. Like, I just feel like it's so cool to be able to do what I do, but it's also like when I go home, I have equally as much fun playing with my buddies at home. And that's such a cool thing as well. Like, it brings so many different skill levels, so many different people together. And for me, like, seeing new places of the world, like I played in China for a year, and like just having that experience, something that I would never have. Like, it's changed me so much as a person, just because like I feel like I'm so thankful for like what I do, and getting to live out a dream that I never thought was possible.
Rough Fairways is produced by Eddie Dunn and Mike Sells. Our thanks again to David Kocher. Appreciate the time, David. And boy, what a year, you guys. 2023 is winding down, and we just want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing us to do this silly show and bring you some good golf content. We hope you enjoy it. We sure love doing it for y'all. So for Mike, I am Eddie. We are Rough Fairways together. And please remember, be kind to each other.